Hello, I'm Westland Mayor William Wild, and welcome to this very special episode of the Westland Report. Today we're here to talk about the Champions Program. This is a very popular, very successful program that's being implemented in the Wayne Westland Community Schools. And to tell you all about it today, we have three very special guests with us today. Starting over here, we have Sean Galvin. He's Executive Director of the Champions of Wayne Memorial. Welcome.
Happy to be here.
We also have the Superintendent of Wayne Westland Schools, Dr. Michelle Harmala.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. And we also have the new chairperson for the Friends of John Glenn, and you also know him as the founder of the Westland Community Foundation, Glenn Shaw.
Thanks for being here, Mayor.
Well, welcome all three of you to the Westland Report. And I got to tell you, this new Champions program is the talk of the town. I mean, it was on TV, it's on the radio, USA Today. I mean, this thing is just absolutely incredible. So, Sean, let's start with you because this program actually started at Wayne Memorial High School. So why don't you tell us how this got started?
It did. It started in the 2008-2009 school year. Kind of the brainchild of the then school psychologist Bill Gray. Bill Gray loves trophies. That's his. He likes hoisting trophies and he likes how they shine. And so he wanted students at Wayne to have an opportunity to win something, to celebrate something. And so really it started out with him purchasing a trophy that's about the size of the Stanley Cup and telling a small group of students, let's set a goal, and if you can attain the goal, I'm going to engrave your name on this trophy. So that's how it began.
Well, Dr. Harmala, when you came to the school district, this incredible program was going at Wayne Memorial. And I know that you were figuring, how do I get this program to John Glenn High School? So how did you do that?
Well, as a superintendent, you always want to look at if it's working, how do we spread that? So I made rounds to all of the schools and heard lots about the program at Wayne Memorial High School. And then when I went to John Glenn, had the opportunity to speak with school psychologist Louis Shabilsky. And he talked about the fact that John Glenn High School had always wanted to add a Champions of John Glenn program. And they tried different things and struggled with it, but were not able to find a community partner. And so eventually I met Glenn Shaw in other venues such as the Westland Community Foundation, and we started talking, and Glenn Shaw said, hey, let me see if I can help with that. So through a lot of dialogue, that was sort of the short version of how we got started, and I'm excited now we have it at both high schools.
So Glenn, that brings us to now. So you got recruited here? I mean, so
it was. I had a different idea other than what they were doing at Wayne Memorial, and I was talking about the foundation gives out about $12,000 to $15,000 a year in scholarships, and I thought my wife and I discussed that maybe we should put more funding into that and give out more scholarships to help kids because we're always looking for kids that are in that 2-point to 3-point grade point average, so maybe they can get them into community colleges and stuff. So that was what I originally started talking about, and then the good doctor here, she suggested about this program, and we talked about it, and I still wasn't quite sure that this is the right thing to do. And so they invited me to their banquet last year, as Sean did, and Richard Helpy and Jeff Stiers, and so I went there and I watched and I observed, and it looked pretty good. So then we had another meeting and with the staff at the school, and when Sean was there on his iPad, I didn't realize he was the guy from the Champions program, so it's okay. We're in. We're going to be all in. We're going to do this, and so it's been just a great movement forward. So.
Well, I know that over the last couple of years that they've been looking for a champion of John Glenn, and I think it's very fitting to find that we found a Glenn to be the champion. So Sean, why don't you tell us a little bit about how the program works, and then tell us how you got involved with it as well.
Sure. So over at Wayne, it started 2008, 2009. The first year that it operated, Bill Gray did not have a Glenn Shaw or a Richard Helpy or a Jeff Stiers. It was just the name on the trophy. And
so people know Richard Helpy, Jeff Stiers, Glenn Shaw, these are alumni, right? These are former Wayne Westland.
Correct. Actually, all three from Wayne.
But we don't hold that against Glenn.
His name is Glenn, so it lets him in.
So I think that's important. Is all three of these are alumni of the Wayne Westland schools, graduates of Wayne Memorial High School, that have gone on to become very successful business people. Now they're giving back to the community.
And so, yeah, so the way the program works is students can sign up every semester that they're in high school. So a maximum, I guess, you would say of 8 semesters typically. To sign up for the program, the first step is to find a champion. Find a mentor, if it's a favorite teacher, a counselor, somebody that there's a pre-existing relationship with. That tends to be the most effective. Once they have a champion, they have a mentor, then the next step is to set a goal, and it's usually an academic goal. Typically it's a grade point average based goal, and sign a contract on the premise that if this goal is attained, and we try and find a balance between challenging and attainable for each student. And if and when the goal is attained, we have a banquet, which we just had this week for both the schools. And each student that achieves the goal is presented with a check for $200.
Okay.
And so as you might think, that creates a lot of excitement.
So Glenn, is your program different, or did you make a couple tweaks? Or
Well, of course, Bill, I had to make a couple tweaks, the formula they had was a good formula, but I shared some of the things that we did different with the Wayne program. By the way, let's get this cleared up for the Rockets, okay? John Glenn wasn't there when I graduated. I'm an old man. I graduated in '61, so I didn't have an opportunity to go to John Glenn. But anyhow, what we were trying to do more was communicating with the mentors by sending letters and telling them what's going on, and we encouraged them and appreciated their effort. Sending letters to the students, encouraging them, that, hey, the semester's coming to an end. You still have a chance if you haven't reached your goal. Keep working hard, and by the way, Merry Christmas. And then we sent one to the parents too. And I think it really got everybody more talking to each other and helping their kids out. We had a pizza party, we call it, to get the parents to come to the parent-teachers conference. We understand that the teachers say that they've never been so busy. They had so many parents come to check on their kids, because in that communication we sent out, they're important to this program. The parents are the important people in this program. And so they showed up. So, I'm going to share more of those ideas with Sean, but I think they were very helpful to help us get the percentages that we got of success.
Well, that had to be pretty exciting for your staff.
Staff were very excited. I think there's a couple things that it was a start for John Glenn High School. They didn't have the experience or the years behind them that Wayne Memorial High School has had with the program. So to insert some things to create the excitement, we had such a tremendous turnout at the banquet last night, and I think that was as a result of starting something new but inserting those pieces to keep the excitement high all the way across the implementation for the first semester. So I don't know what we're going to do if the enrollments continue to increase. We'll need a far bigger hall, won't we?
You betcha.
That's true.
That'll be a good problem to
That'll
have.
be a big problem. We'll work on that. But I want to tell you about those teachers. They're not just the teachers. I want to thank you, the mayor, for being a mentor, and you, Dr. Hamlin, for being a mentor. And then there was the janitorial guy, the maintenance people at the school. They were mentors. The police officer, Joe Bobby, he was he mentored, I think, 10 kids. And I found out that I'm not saying the right word. The janitor is not the word.
Custodian.
Custodian, thank you. He mentored 7 kids. We had hall monitors, mentoring kids. I mean, administrators mentoring kids. It was just a great involvement. And I got these letters from a group of teachers, and one of the words that stuck out to me, they were thanking my wife and I for making this commitment. And they said, because the spirit is back alive at John Glenn. That had resonated with me, and I will never forget it, that's what they felt was going on. They could feel the school was abuzz. Everybody was excited, And so that was a very touching communication,
Well, it was a buzz. We actually had the WLND cameras, and we actually captured the day that the students wore your red Champions t-shirts to John Glenn, and we were able to capture that. And I actually got one of those t-shirts in my office that I wear. So
well, when we gave out the t-shirts, that just spiked it again, because Lou called me and he says, Glenn, we got a problem after we gave out the T-shirts.
We need more T-shirts?
He said, yeah, we had to get some more. Okay. He says, we have a problem with the T-shirts. It's got the other students all saying, how do I get one of those T-shirts? What do I have to do? He says, I said, well, Lou, we've capped it at 400 kids. You know, it's all dollars and cents when you start talking about how the success, you're giving each one of them $200 twice a year. So he says, all right, we'll go to the next semester, you can go up to 600. Someplace we'll find the money, somehow. So, but it was just constant excitement. And last night was a classic example of excitement.
Okay, well, I want to go back, Sean. So we've talked about how the program got started. We talked about how the programs have kind of evolved a little bit. But Sean, so how many years have you been doing this at Wayne Memorial?
This is my 5th year in this role at Wayne.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is year 5. So let's talk about how the program grew. How many did you have the first year, and how many did you have this past year?
So the first year that I was in charge, we had a little over 200.
Okay.
And this was right at like the tipping point. Once it started to become official, we had a logo, we had a website, and so now it's getting big and it's getting official. And so now we're a little over 600 students per semester now. So
That's
it's
awesome.
tripled in size, you could say.
So 600, and we said we have
400.
400?
Yeah.
So
We're going up to 6.
Okay.
And they started out telling me maybe we should just go for 150. And I said, if we can't do 400, forget about doing
We
the
tried
program.
to slow him down a little bit at the beginning, but it's tough to talk this guy out of his big ideas.
And it turned out, didn't it?
Yeah,
It was a big idea that came to fruition.
He made
so
it
it's
happen.
exciting.
He made it happen.
So just think about that. There's 1,000 high schoolers in the Wayne Westland School District that are part of these two programs that have made a commitment, and they're working with their mentors and their teachers and their parents to improve their grade point average. They're actually going to receive an incentive that's coming from the private sector. That's pretty neat.
I think they saw that last
very
night at the
innovative.
banquet. You know, they were excited. They were thanking Glenn and his wife afterwards. They were asking to take pictures with them. That they saw people in the community caring about their success as students. That's pretty powerful. I mean, that's an exciting thing to have people other than your family saying it's important for you to succeed, and we're going to put something behind it. That was
With your two banquets, I mean, you had, how many did you have at your banquet? Both their banquets were earlier this week, so how many did you have at your banquet?
And I think we were just shy of 600, maybe
600 and
575.
at the Hellenic
Oh,
Center?
we were almost 700, Mary.
Well, you're going to find out, these guys are very competitive.
Oh,
I mean,
don't take this wrong, but the Rockets had 34% achieved their goal, and Wayne, what's that other school to the south? It had 27%. Is that correct? Was I had the numbers right?
You know, we used to have a friendly rivalry, but that is now impossible, Mr. Shaw.
All right, well, this is good because actually, the more that these guys challenge each other, the better it is for the
our
students
students
and the
win
whole
in the
program.
school district. Yeah,
But
either way.
if you just think about it, this week alone, we've had 1,300 people come together
Yeah.
and get around the students in the Wayne Westland School about academic achievement. You know, a lot of times we talk about it's homecoming week and there's a football game or there's a wrestling match or something. I mean, this was 1,300 people in our community came together to celebrate, you know, academic achievement. That's really good.
Well, I think, Mayor, another thing that we saw happen in these banquets and prior to that is other community members saying, hey, I want to be a part of it. And some of the ways they were a part of it is donating either $200 to represent or sponsor a student, if you will, to either program. And both of these programs are charitable programs, so it's a 501c3. So people could send in $200 and say, hey, I'll sponsor a student for a semester. We had sponsors who provided additional money beyond that. So reaching out to the community and thanking them for doing that, individuals and businesses who are getting behind what we're doing, and we're thankful for that.
I just want to mention Tormina's Pizza. They donated 150 pizzas to this program. When you get ready to order your pizza, look for Tormina's.
All right, there's a free plug. So Michelle, I know that this was a new thing. So now, I mean, your teachers, it sounds like they really took to it. And I know that my wife's a teacher, and I know sometimes you get that, oh my God, what do they want us to do next?
Right.
But it sounds like the teachers really got involved. And last night at the banquet for the John Glenn, I could just see the pride in the teachers' eye. And you've really got an incredible group of teachers teachers here in the school district, and
We do.
it seemed like they really were excited about this.
They were real excited. They'd been wanting to do something and just hadn't found the way to make it happen. And just through, in a lot of ways, I would call it a lot of good luck, but also coming into a district where the community is behind the schools, you as a mayor, the mayor of the city of Wayne, Susan Rowe, behind the school system, everybody's backing the community and backing the schools. Strong schools make strong communities and vice versa. And meeting the right people through some introductions from you and others, being able to say, how can we do this? And then people getting behind it like Glenn Shaw and the Westland Community Foundation.
Mayor, I sat down with every school board member. Mayor of Wayne, I sat down and talked to, and I says, I'm trying to work on a theme that we're all in, the whole community. And you folks started out, you're all in, you and I have had a lot of conversations on this, and all school board members said they're prepared to be mentors. The mayor of Wayne going to be a mentor. And I'm just trying to build in the community spirit here that this is very vital to the students and to the school district of Wayne Westland, that we're all in to support our kids in this town. So I really encourage you, whatever you can do to help out the kids or support your school system, you got to do it. It's important.
You know, going back to some of the work of the teachers, and we talked about the custodian and Officer Bobby having multiple students, some of our teachers have mentored up to 30 students in a semester. That's phenomenal.
That's incredible.
That's a lot of work. I mentored one student as a superintendent.
I mentored one and I felt guilty.
It was time intensive,
I heard that
wasn't
some
it?
of the
Yeah.
teachers were doing up
Yeah.
to 30 students.
Right.
So
Yeah,
And
there's
you-
teachers that I'm sorry to cut you
No,
off. There's
that's okay.
there's teachers that give up their lunch period every day and just have students in their rooms and just kind of talking to them in more of an informal manner, and just getting to know them personally, and that really makes school a more welcoming place for the students, and everybody wins.
Yeah, that's really important to tell the folks at home. You need to understand, these teachers don't get extra. They don't get paid extra. It's all because they want to do it. And so sometimes we look down our nose a little bit, complain about teachers and whatever. You need, I got to tell you, the reaction from these folks was just incredible. Just incredible. They got a little nervous at the end. They said, maybe we didn't do enough, you know. I'm like, holy great, what else could you do? I'm staying after school, doing all these things. You just can't say enough about great things about what a job they did for us. It was awesome.
Well, and I
Just
think
awesome.
Glenn too, you know, we celebrated students who achieved their goal, but we had over 200, close to 250 students who made great progress, but maybe didn't hit their goal exactly. So that's a celebration too, both for the students and the support of the teachers.
Between the two schools, 600 kids improved their grade point. 600 kids improved their grade point. We're not talking about a point. We're talking about kids that went from a 0.1 to 2.1 to from a 0.15 to 1.86 went to 3.3. I said to his parents, I says, who is this kid? I said, how long has he been living with you? He said, just since you started this program.
well, with that said, so we talked a little bit about the parents. I know, Glenn, that you were very touched with talking with the parents.
Yeah.
And Sean, you've got some great stories about parents reaching out to you on this. So, you know, the parents that are at home that are watching this, and maybe their students, we're almost there. I mean, what do we want the parents to do? Because obviously, you know, guys like Glenn Shaw and his family, and Richard Helpe and Jeff Stiers and their family, they've put up, you know, at least the seed money to get this program going. The mentors, the teachers are going out of their way. So, what do the parents need to do at home? What's their role in this? Especially if you have a champion student at home that, you know, maybe didn't earn their or get the reward this year, but there's still a chance to get it, this semester for the next semester. So what's your message to the parents?
And I think that's to one to be aware of your child or your student's goals and who the mentor is and why they chose that particular mentor, and to kind of have a finger on that pulse, and then really just to celebrate the small victories. I think that these banquets come twice per year, and it's wonderful, the public celebrations and everything, but on a smaller scale, to really celebrate the A paper that goes on the fridge, like that has value, and so to continually do that and constantly do that.
Okay.
You know, Mayor, it's not just those kids. You know, we want those, the champions kids, but you know, every parent at home, they need to understand the value of them being involved with their kid on their homework and giving them support and pat them on the back. You know, if they're not in the Champions program, next year they can get in the Champions program, but if not, work with your kids now. It's critical. I saw when I was talking to these parents last night, every parent should have been in that room talking to these parents. It was awesome what they were saying. Just awesome. Bring tears to your eyes, because I'm sort of a crybaby anyhow, but it bring tears to your eyes. Some of the stories are incredible. Just incredible, exciting.
Do you have a message for the parents, Dr. Harmar?
I shared last night in my speech at the John Glenn Champions Banquet, I shared there's 3 things parents can do. One is hold high expectations. Kids will be learners, they'll achieve, they'll grow if we expect them to. If we don't expect them to, they won't. So help them to have a high expectation, higher than you would anticipate your child could even learn and grow. Keep it high for them and help them to know what success looks like. Success doesn't mean you don't ever fail. I mean, I think about the things I've done in life and made big mistakes or fallen flat on my face, and you get back up. And that's just a part of learning. So if kids do that, celebrate that and help them to see what they could do differently in terms of effort. Effort's a big part of learning, so let's try a different way. Let's study a little longer. Let's find somebody who knows a different way to do that particular assignment. But hold the expectation high and really help them know that success doesn't mean you never fail. Success means you learn from any failures you have.
Sort of don't do like I did when I was raising my kids. They got all these good grades. What about this D here? No, don't do that. How about this A here, and how about this B over here? I always did. What about this D? That's dumb.
I think they were all guilty of that.
You know, like crazy. And then praise them when they do well. Yeah.
Okay. So is there still time to get in the program this year? Or is at this point, is it something that students should look forward to for next year?
We're getting close to full. I think we typically cut it off at about 600, and I would say as of this filming, I think we're at about 520.
Okay.
So we're close.
We're having a meeting with our team that worked on this closely tomorrow, and we're going to come up with a final date. And I understand they're out of school next week, so it'll probably be shortly after next week. And today's what, February 11th, so everybody knows what next week is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So is there anything else about the program that you guys want to get out there? Is there, you know, I know that we had some entrepreneurs kind of put in some seed money. Are we looking for other folks to help get involved with that so we can make sure this is a sustainable effort?
Definitely want to diversify the donor base as best we can. And I just want to say too that there's been articles written about cash for grades and bribery and all this, and it's much more about relationships. And really almost every student that I've talked to that has earned the $200 and made the goal has said that the money was the incentive to sign up, but once the success and having someone care about them and proud of them, that became most important in the end. So it's really about relationships.
I'd like to add that it's not even about always being a student who struggles with your grades or has the lowest grade to the highest grade, but we had students in particular at Wayne Memorial High School last year who wanted to help the program to be sustainable. They were high achieving students already, so Sean actually helped them to set a goal of creating a community 5K run, and the money raised in the 5K run was going back into the running of the Champions of Wayne Memorial program. And then the community was invited to the run. I myself, my husband ran in that race, and the students did the whole thing from developing it to advertising it to timing. And so the goal doesn't have to be academic achievement per se. It usually is because we want to help students in that way. But if you're already high achieving, there's community service and how to become a leader, lots of other ways to set a goal.
Okay. Glenn,
I'm the new guy on the block here, and we had our banquet last night, and it was an emotional roller coaster like you couldn't believe. I mean, the stories you heard, we had kids to get up and tell their story. If you didn't have a tear in your eye on some of these stories, you didn't know how to cry. I mean, there's just great successes. Talking with the parents thanking my wife and I. It wasn't for the $200. It was because their kids excelled. I could tell you there was a whole slew of kids. They didn't come to thank for the $200. They came to thank us for what they were able to do. And every kid, when they came up there and shook hands and got their check, before I even handed them the check, I'm telling you, every one of them said, thank you.
Yeah.
So I knew it wasn't this. It was because they're on the stage. They did well. So, folks, you just can't even imagine how great this program is. Just awesome, yeah.
So is there opportunity, Glenn, for people to get involved if they want to start getting involved with that monetarily, or?
Yeah, my wife and I, we've made a commitment for 4 years to put the funds in they were putting in, but now the funds have already increased from what we committed, so it's going to probably be more. But you and I have been talking about how to put together a plan to help generate, and I'm hoping that we can put together something where we can get the business community and people in the community that'll take $500 and sponsor a kid for a year. And I'd like them to get tied into the same 3 years I'm in, because if they do, then we can probably commit for another 3 or 4 years. But that's our plan, is to go out and see if we can't get them to sponsor a kid. It doesn't have to be the name, it's but sponsoring the kid for $500, and that'll cover the cost and it'll cover the banquet.
Okay. Well, I got to add one nice twist that I like that you put on your program as we talk about making it sustainable is you gave the students a chance that out of their $200 they could actually put some of that money back into the program?
Well, no, they could make a donation to some charity.
Okay.
And we're going to discuss that tomorrow. There's
Okay.
something I think at the school, and when they sign their contract, some of them check the box about $5 to put in $5 back into some charity, and it'll be something within the school system, that the school, their school, that they think that will try to come up and say this is where the money will go to. Okay. So, and a big percentage of them check the box.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. So
Yeah, so that's another character building about these kids. Folks, these kids are great.
these are our kids.
I heard so many 4 points that last night I couldn't get over it.
Glenn, I've been an educator for 30 years, and a question I always get is, are kids today different than they were 30 years ago? And my answer is usually no. I mean, we have the kids who, back in my day, used to jump up and try and hit the clock in the hallway because the clock was in the hallway. That still happens. But kids are still interested in learning and growing and somebody caring about them and really contributing to a bigger cause. And I think the checking the box is them contributing to a bigger cause. So we're thrilled about the kids we have.
I'm the old man in the group. Us old people talk about, take the iPads away, take the iPhones away, tell them to sit down and do their homework.
All right. Well, Dr. Harmel, thank you for being open to these types of innovator programs. I think that's been a fresh approach that you've brought to your new position, and I can tell you as mayor, I appreciate the different collaborations that the city does with the school district, and we look forward to more of those in the future.
I do too. Thank you.
So, Sean, any final words from the Wayne Memorial Champions program?
I kind of want to use this opportunity to take another dig at Glenn, but I'm just going to go ahead
take your time.
I'm good. I'll just I'll let it be. But thank you for having me.
No, go ahead. We got time. But
I'll let it go.
thanks. So with that, Glenn, we're going to give you the final word.
You know, the foundation, and I thank both of you for sitting on our foundation and you sitting on the committee for the champions. Our foundation, we've done a lot of great things in this town. I can tell you, we've taken people out of the backseat of their car and put them into a hotel room. I can tell you, we feed hundreds of people, buy clothes, and it's just been a great foundation to do things. And every dime that comes into this foundation, as you know, goes back into the city of Westland. We are now hitting the plateau of $1.5 million fundraising since we started. What I can tell you is that this here program within myself has outweighed all those other things we've done, that we're touching so many lives. I'm not just talking about the kids, I'm talking about the parents, I'm talking about the mentors, the whole environment of people. There were 679 people there last night, and they are all in. Every one of those people, they're all in. And it's just, we need to build up on this community to get more people with that spirit here. But this here, folks, I'm telling you what, it has touched my wife's heart and my heart. We couldn't go to sleep last night. We were so excited about what we ran across last night. Plus, there was a great finale we had last night. I want to thank the John Glenn Band and the cheerleaders. What a great job they did for us. Oh my gosh. Weren't they awesome?
They're very talented, flipping down the hallway and celebrating all of the champions and all of the students.
Well, we had our WLND cameras there last night, so
Oh, yeah.
our viewing audience is going to have a chance to watch that banquet.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
All right.
yeah,
Thank you for doing that.
yeah.
Well, no problem. And we just want to thank you on behalf of the City of West End, all three of you, because all three of you are making a tremendous difference in our community and in our youth as well. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, and maybe we can get you back in the near future for an update on the Champions Program.
Sounds good. Champions of John Glenn and champions of Wayne. Go Wayne Westland Community Schools.
Rockets rock.
Last word?
Oh, man.
You don't know what a zebra does. You don't know what a zebra does. See?
All right. Well, on behalf of Sean Galvin, Dr. Hamala, and Glenn Shaw, I'm West End Mayor Wayne Wild. Thank you for watching this incredible episode. This is very incredible. This was really good stuff today, guys. This incredible episode of the Westland Report. Thank you.